Howdy folks, we're here continuing on the gearbox build for the Defender. So far we have it mounted to the rear diff. We've assured ourselves that everything is running as smooth as it can. And with that, we're just going to continue on and see where we have to go. So here's going to be an elastic band that's going to force an arm down. So with that, we get on going. Here's this piece. We want to make sure, as I said before, we have to have our orientation correct. This fellow is going to go on here, and this is going to be an ear selector. With that, we need a short post cue. This is an interesting, it switches from an axle to a pod connector. We need 3 connectors, 1, 2, 3. We need a circular spacer. One of those. We need 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We need a small hill and 1 half-height holder. So this is a bit of a sub-assembly. Grab 7 and put 2 posts in, like so. We're going to put our axle post holder, again with a half-height holder. We're then going to have a post and a stopper. We're then going to install a little L. This fellow's going to go through here like so. And again, we compare what our subassembly to the diagram. It looks like we're 100% right on. We're now going to install this into this hole. So that. And at this point, we're going to attach elastic bands between this point and this point, and that'll keep tension on the gear shaft. Now, however, as I said before, this was a used Lego set, and as such, the fellow I had purchased it from told me that the elastic bands had perished. In other words, they had fallen apart. And I have temporarily used just an ordinary elastic band. It seems to have enough downforce. We'll review it. I did look online for these parts. The elastic bands are $3.60 each. However, because they are not what they call a high demand product, there is a $25 handling charge for them to actually go dig them out of the warehouse. And then on top of that, there's a $7 shipping charge. So I'm saying to myself, as much as I can Use an elastic band to make this work. That's what I think I'm going to do. I don't think this particular part isn't worth the $37 for me. However, if there was a gear missing or some part that you couldn't 3D print, that's the point when you're, then I have to order it. But for now, this will do. I have a couple of ideas that will probably also work. I'm thinking of getting an O-ring, but for now, this will be more of a placeholder than anything else. And with that, I'm going to continue to build. We need a red 1-unit spacer. Two-way conversion axle. 2 of those. Thank you very much. 2 of these single transitions. 1 for red axle. 3 axle with a swapper. This one. And 2 posts. And what's going on here is we're making another holder. So we're going to start with 3. So we'll put in a 4 axle. And then we're going to connect this like that. So far so good. And then I'm going to put 2 single transitions. And then I'm going to put this fellow and the holder. And we need to have both of these in. There we go. Sometimes the instructions on this can be a little subtle. They don't give it all away all at once. So you have to kind of look really hard to decide where pieces go. But however, having said that, excuse me, we're able to move forward. I have to sort of decide where this is going to fit. Again, the orientation matters. The red and the yellow do that. And always when you're doing 2 posts at once, be very careful that you orient everything correctly. And it looks like we have. Everything is coming together nicely. And I believe we're about to start working on the second differential. So we now have a red housing, the 4 axle, and 3 more gears. Okay. So with this, and again, you'll notice that there is a post right in the center there, and that mounts your very first axle, or gear. So once you have the gears in place, put the second gear on, so, and you're going to want this axle to come through. And then put the third axle in. Calling it an axle, it's a gear. This is going on this piece. have to get the gears to mesh with each other. And also have, I think we're there. There we go. And now we then drive this axle down. So it's touching that axle. And we now have our second differential. And as this turns, it also turns the wheels. All right, so that appears to be correct. No. As in all, oh no. And this is where orientation is so critically important. Because as you can see, I have managed to pull one gear out. And the gear it was supposed to be actuating has popped up. So bear with me for a second. I'll put you on pause and we'll get this thing going again. All right, I'm back. I did manage to reconnect gear at the back. Again, this was a free-loved unit. What tends to happen is the connections loosen up a bit. And so when you have multiple pieces connected, every now and then you're going to find that they loosen up quite a bit, so that it's a lot easier for the pieces to get in. However, it also makes it challenging if you're not careful. You will pull the pieces out just like I did, and then all of a sudden you have to put them back in again. So with that, I think we're going to pause for a moment and we'll be back.